All right, guys, I am finally getting caught up on my backlog of samples, and I decided to just grab the most interesting one from the pile. A sample with a unique kind of wood from a location that might surprise you. But we are going to get into it and find out if it's any good and what it's all about. Roll that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey, the internet's most okayest whiskey review channel. If you're new here, hopefully you haven't started putting up your Christmas decorations since it hasn't even gotten to Thanksgiving yet. If you have, there's professionals that can help you with that sort of thing. But if you're not new here, if you're a returning viewer and a fairly well-grounded individual, welcome back. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It looks like this right up here. Based on data and analytics and all those fun little data points, most of you guys are not subscribing, and that really kind of hurts my feelings. Makes me feel like you're just not that interested in what I have to say. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification as well so you find out every time I drop new content. But anyways, I've got this pile. I could show you guys, but I don't want to turn the camera. I have this pile of sample bottles sitting on a table over here that I've been meaning to get to for, honestly, a couple of months now. I've just kind of had a backlog of samples to get to and tastings to do. And I know I got to get back on the live streams, and I know I'm slacking. I am. It's terrible. And you guys got me to 1,000 subscribers. That's what I asked. You guys held up your end. I'm going to hold up mine, I promise. So what I did was I grabbed what I deemed to be the most interesting sample in that entire pile, and we're going to bust into it and we're going to see what it's all about. So this was sent to me by the amazingly generous folks at San Diego Distillery. I reached out, they agreed to send some samples over. What I thought was going to be 1 or 2 samples ended up being like a dozen samples, and they're all super just amazing, unique whiskeys with incredible finishes or just different takes on things. It's an incredible operation. Obviously based out of San Diego, California. They do distill their own whiskey, but from my understanding, and I could be wrong, you guys correct me in the comments if I am, they also will source some unique whiskeys as well and kind of either blend it or finish it or kind of make it better with their own unique twist, which is really what I think whiskey is all about. But this one here, I don't have a ton of information on this one, but this is from their staved series. This is Cask Strength Bourbon staved with African Padauk. I don't know how to say that. Distilled in Indiana, so I'm going to assume this is MGP bourbon, but it's finished with African Padauk wood. So I actually, like most of you, probably most of you, I had to Google what African Padauk wood is. And it is a tropical wood that is grown in Central and Western Africa. I don't know of any other whiskeys that are finishing with this type of wood. I have no idea what its flavor components are or what it's supposed to do to the alcohol. I have no clue at all, but I was extremely intrigued by this, and that's why it was the one that I chose to break into. So we got our glass here. We're gonna go ahead and get into this sample. I don't have a pocket knife for whatever reason. This is incredibly well sealed. Cheers to you guys. All right. This is a bit aggressive for the job, but this is what was sitting on my workbench. So, there we go. Okay, so, and just so you guys can see, that is dark, like dark. I have no clue how long that is stave finished for. Oh my God, it is very, very red, which I'm almost certain is influence from the wood. So I'm excited, but it's weird because this is the first time in a long time I'm approaching that's on the outside of the glass, that's fine. I'm approaching a tasting that I don't really know what to expect. I don't really have a basis for comparison. So this is gonna be fun and unique for both of us, hopefully. So going for a nosing. Okay, orange and cinnamon. Not like a aggressive red hot cinnamon, like a baking cinnamon or cinnamon you might put in your coffee. Yeah, I get orange rind and cinnamon very heavily on this. A little bit of vanilla. There's a little bit of a sour component in there, like almost like a sour wet wood. The color on this though is just fantastic. It's got this reddish orangey kind of hue to it. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick up to do that justice, but that is just a beautiful color on a whiskey. I wish I had a full bottle of this. This is already super, super cool. Yeah, that's really the big ones. And as I'm kind of letting this sit in the glass, that sour oak is becoming a little bit more prominent, but my God, that is oily and viscous as can be. That is sticking to the glass real well. So with it being cask strength, I expected nothing less. I don't know how old it is. I don't know the proof, but the Padauk finish is going to be new for me. So let's go in. Let's get to it, guys. Cheers. Okay, that's a little hot. First sip of the day. A little hot, but I immediately want more. All right. Sweet cinnamon for sure, but all right. Let's go in for another taste. Okay, so definitely drinks. It's either very high proof, which is entirely possible, or it drinks very hot. I'm inclined to think that's proof. Sweet baking spices, wood sugars, oak tannins, like a cinnamon cookie almost. It's not overly aggressive with like the spice. It's just, I think it might be the heat, the proof. I don't know what proof this is. I have to reach out to them and see. That drinks, like I would guess that's probably 130 proof or maybe a little bit higher. But that's actually very interesting. And it's good. It's reminiscent of a good Amburana finish. I have like a little bit of a weird coconutty kind of vibe that's coming in too. Cinnamon, coconut, sweet wood sugars, almost like like a sugar cookie, cinnamon sugar cookie. And that finish is just, it is all over the place, man. That is really good. I would not hesitate to buy a bottle of this if I came across one. I mean, it is still just lingering. It is so oily and viscous. The finish on this is amazing. Subtle cinnamon and some brown sugar on the finish. Brown sugar doesn't really make itself known until the very back end, but this is that Padauk wood. If that's what this does to a whiskey, like that's a cool finish, and I wish more people would look into it. When I was kind of researching into it, there was something about red sandalwood. So I don't know if red sandalwood is like another name for African Padauk, but if any of you guys out there, you small distillery guys, are looking to finish something with a unique wood, yeah, maybe that's something worth looking at because this is incredible. Okay. The more I drink, the less spicy it's getting. So I gotta think that's more the proof and I'm getting used to it. There's almost like a creaminess now later on in the pour that's getting there, and it's really, really nice. So I have no idea what these bottles cost. Distribution, I imagine, is not super widespread on these. I got to imagine California is probably their primary market, and then if you can get it in any of the surrounding states, I mean, good on you. I'd love to get more of this stuff. To give it a score, just shooting from the hip, 7.4. Not ultra complex. I mean, there is some depth of flavor there. It's not super complex, but there is complexity. Don't get me wrong. It's good. It's unique. Without having it readily available, it's a little bit harder for me to give it any higher of a score. I think the uniqueness is awesome, and I don't think it's gimmicky. I think this was actually very well thought out, and the wood that they finished it with imparted a lot of really cool flavors. This, to me, is in the same vein as like the RD1 Amburana finish, but like a different lane. It has that same impact, but in a different way, if that's making sense to you guys. Like the profiles are different, but the intensity of those profiles is very much the same. So this is really cool, and I hope more distilleries catch on to using that type of wood. Hats off to San Diego Distillery for this particular sample. Their staved series sounds really cool. Sounds like something I need to try more of. There's about like 9 other samples they sent me, so you guys be on the lookout on the channel for more reviews. But yeah, that's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.